around your children every day, then it can be very difficult to suddenly find you're separated. And so it's very important that, again, before leaving the house, you perhaps get some arrangements in place as far as the care arrangements for the children. It's also important, again, some people move out because the atmosphere is awful and they go very quickly, and then they find that financially perhaps they can't afford it. It's impractical. Yeah. So really it's about getting advice and making sure that what you're about to do is actually the right decision for you and your family.
When you're emotional, you're not thinking straight, are you?
And again, the other party can become quite difficult. If you've left, they may decide that you can't come back, and although you have legal rights, it can be quite hard if they've decided that they're going to change the lock, put the padlocks on. Then it can become quite hard. So top tip there is think about what you're going to do before you do it properly and get advice.
Okay.
Then I'll move on to my next tip, which is avoid taking advice from friends and family.
That's a good one. I like that.
Everybody perhaps has their view on what you should and shouldn't be doing, and no two cases are ever the same. Mm-hmm. So what Joe Bloggs might be doing down the road will be completely different to perhaps what you may be advised to do. So although friends and family are a great shoulder to cry on, and they are certainly supportive, we would also get independent advice from a specialist family law solicitor early on.
Okay. Don't get caught out by technology. I love this one.
Again, we'd always say to our clients, have a look at your securities, because quite often they may have been running a joint email account, and so it's important that they make sure the passwords are changed and that they do set up new email addresses, etc.
Yeah.
And then also, as far as technology is concerned as well, we were always making sure that clients are very careful about what they do put on social networking sites. Just recently I've had a case where the other party are denying being in a new relationship, and then on Facebook there it is.
It's all over there.
Relationship status, you know. So
because you can use that now, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Facebook is I think cited in 1 in 5 divorce petitions, and it can also be damaging or helpful depending on who you're representing in contact cases. Certainly something that's being posted on Facebook, it can be used in evidence to show what sort of social life you're leading, etc. So just be careful what you say and post onto social networking sites.
Okay. Don't take documentation belonging to your spouse. This is an interesting one.
People aren't actually aware of the law, and actually what the law does say is that actually bank statements or wage slips, they're actual confidential information that belong to your spouse, and therefore if you take it without your spouse's consent, then you are getting yourself into difficulties. And what's more important is there's actually potential criminal sanctions if you go into someone's computer or if you go into their mobile phone. And I will say to my clients, you wouldn't dream of doing it to a work colleague and just going and sitting at their computer and starting looking at their inbox. So really you've got to have the same approach to your spouses. And if you're not sure, again, get advice, because once you've taken a document, it's too late. So generally, don't take documents unless you're absolutely sure that won't be an issue.
Okay. And don't lie to your lawyer. This is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very important. I think a lot of people think that we are going to judge them and that if they don't, they're embarrassed. But really, they need to be honest with us, because if they're not, then usually it comes out in the wash, and it is perhaps harder for us to do such a good job for them. So be honest and frank with your lawyer, because we're not going to judge you. We're there to actually act for you in your best interests.
What sort of things would one lie about, though? Is it sort of
it can vary. It can vary from perhaps someone denying that they've had an affair. It just varies, but we would always urge our clients to be honest with us, because then we can manage a situation much better.
Okay.
So if there needs to be the admission of an affair, we can handle that in a sensitive way for them.
Okay. Caroline handed me, at the beginning of the show, a practical guide to relationship breakdown. Slater and Gordon have brought this into practice up and down the UK. And I've only looked at it very, very briefly, but it's a fantastic book. And anyway, Caroline, you just explained what made you want to implement this into your practices.
Well, I found we are there to give legal advice, but more and more I found that we were giving practical advice as well, and I thought it was very important that we did give our clients that helping hand on where to start. So, so I did write what we call our practical guide to relationship breakdown, and it's just
you wrote this, didn't you?
I did, yes.
I think you need to shout about it a bit louder because it's absolutely fantastic.
It's something I wrote in my spare time, and basically it's just that step-by-step guide to some of the key things you should think about if you are going through a separation. So in there I've drafted a letter that you could send to your children's school to advise them about your separation. There's a budget planner in there so that people can work out what they're going to spend each month. It also gives them some helpful information on personal support, so support for children as well as personal support as far as counselling. And what I find particularly helpful is to give clients a list of books that they can buy to read to their children.
Yeah, these are fantastic.
So it contains a number of books for different ages of children, ranging from sort of 3-year-olds right up to teenagers. As well as a sort of a checklist as well about who to tell about your separation, and also some top tips on how to go about agreeing care arrangements for the children.
Yeah, you've got a separation checklist, child maintenance, other financial matters. I mean, it's all in there. So you give this out to everybody that comes to your practices? Yeah,
we give it to all clients, and it's available online from our website as well. It's a free guide, so anyone can go onto our website and download it, or give us a call and we'll happily send them a copy.
Okay, so before the next track, and then before we go on to your questions, ladies and gentlemen out there, your website, do you want to read that out to everybody?
Yes.
How can they contact you?
Our website is slatergordon.co.uk/family, or you can telephone us on 0808 175 7711, or you can email us at inquiries@slatergordon.co.uk.
And like I say, ladies and gentlemen, obviously Caroline's from Milton Keynes, but you have them all over the UK, don't you?
Yeah, we're nationwide, so we have offices all over.
Okay, right, we're going to play another track now, which is James Morrison, Pieces Don't Fit Anymore.
I've been twisting and turning in a space that's too small. I've been drawing the line and watching it fall. You've been closing me in, closing the space in my heart, watching us fading and watching it all fall apart. Well, I can't explain why it's not enough, 'cause I gave it all to you. And if you leave me now, or just leave me now, it's the better thing to do. It's time to surrender. It's been too long pretending. There's no use in trying when the pieces don't fit anymore. Pieces don't fit here anymore. Well, you pulled me under, so I had to give in. Such a beautiful mess that's breaking my skin. Well, I hide all the bruises, I hide all the damage that's done, but I show how I'm feeling until all the feeling has gone. Well, I can't explain why it's not enough, 'cause I gave it all to you. And if you leave me now, or just leave me now, it's the better thing to do. Well, it's time to surrender. It's too long pretending. There's no
Oh, hello and welcome back, James Morrison. He's a little star, isn't he? Anyway, moving on. We don't have a lot of time left, unfortunately, this evening, but we're going to try and get some of your questions in. I just want to say, Caroline gave me the practical guide to relationship breakdown, which, as I say, she should shout about because it's absolutely fantastic, full of useful information that you're all going to need at some point if you're going through a divorce. The only other thing that she's just presented me is a glossy, fantastic guide to understanding law surrounding marriage, divorce, children and separation. This is a glossy book. They call it Family Law Made Simple. And just looking through it very quickly, again, it just covers in an in-depth way of what Caroline's put in the other practical guide. Again, Caroline, can people buy this online?
You can buy that online, but if anyone wants to contact me directly, then I can also give them a copy.
Okay, it's called Family Law Made Simple, but if you go onto the website, you'll be able to order a copy or contact Caroline direct and get that book. Okay, Caroline, well, obviously, as you know, I've got a Facebook page and I've got quite a few fans out there. And when they knew that you was coming in this evening, I got some messages. So we're going to try and sort of go through some of those questions. And the first one, I can't even say this, so you're going to have to say it. What is prohibitive?
What's a prohibited steps order?
Yes, and the process.
Okay, a prohibited steps order is an order made by the court which is going to prohibit a certain action in relation to a child. So it can pretty much cover anything. So anyone can apply to the court if they want to prohibit an action in relation to their children. So it could be stopping a child changing schools. It could be to stop a child leaving the country and moving to somewhere else. So pretty much anything that you may need the court's assistance to stop, you can apply under the Children Act for a prohibited steps order.
And what is the process of doing that? Is it sort of long-winded or?
It depends on the seriousness and urgency. So there is the mechanism to take an urgent application to the court, but there is also direction that if it's something that's just can't be agreed between a couple. So if mum says, look, actually, I want to go and live with my new partner in Australia, that isn't necessarily an urgent application, and therefore a process of looking at whether the couple can mediate to try and reach an agreement. And if an agreement can't be reached, then an application can be made to the court, and there's a process by which there's several steps.
Oh, I see.
And again, if the courts need the involvement, it would be a court welfare officer is then an independent assessment is made, and they make a report to the court. So a court process has a number of steps along the way to determine what is in the child's best interest. So it's all about making a decision which is right for that individual child.
Right, okay. And can you do that process any time during the divorce? So in the beginning you might not need it, but maybe near the end you do.
Yeah.
So any time.
At any time. Again, it's the Children Act is there